This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Another Portland shooting overnight, one dead, another hurt in the Kenton neighborhood. The latest this morning as the investigation continues.
And helping diversity go the distance.
We need more opportunities for women. We need more men to help us get there, and we need more women willing to get out of their comfort zone and embrace new challenges.
We'll tell you more about the new initiative that's being launched locally to make global changes to world athletics. Plus,
it's all about spending time with the people that are important to you and sharing things and being unselfish and listening and learning.
That is former Trailblazer Channing Frye talking about life after the NBA. Did you know he lives here in Portland? And he is majorly into wine. So much so he's teamed up with Kevin Love, and they are 2 years into creating their own wines. Coming up, how you can snag a ticket to 6 upcoming dinners and try them out and eat food from the chef who Channing calls one of Portland's best.
a guy who lives in Portland and a guy from Lake Oswego teaming up for that wine story.
Yeah.
This is a Wednesday edition of Sunrise. Man, our team is dropping like flies. Rod's off all week. Brenda's off today. Chris McGinnis in, though, for the weather.
We're still here, and we still got weather to talk about. A hot day in the forecast today. After yesterday's 90-degree heat, we are probably back in the same territory again today. But before we get there, man, is that a gorgeous sunrise or what? Look at that. That is just spectacular. From our Wells Fargo Sky camera, sunrise still a good almost 40 minutes away, but we're off to a mild start. 65 last check at PDX, and temperatures elsewhere across the metro. Right now it's 59 in Hillsborough, 64 in Vancouver. We slip south into the Willamette Valley, upper 50s and low 60s. Pretty common this morning. All right, the plan for today, a lot like yesterday. Wall-to-wall sunshine, 80 by lunchtime. I'll step out of the way. We're back into the low 90s again, and then we start to take the edge off the heat a little bit tomorrow. More on that coming up in just a bit.
All right, Chris, we right now want to get to our top story this hour. It's a search that lasted at least 12 hours, but it ended overnight when police found and arrested a man they believe was involved in a shooting yesterday in southeast Portland. Officers responded to a call around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon and found a man shot near southeast 87th and Ankeny. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. The suspect in this shooting, though, Benjamin Clark, took off in that man's car, and at around 9 o'clock last night, officers spotted Clark driving that car near southeast 104th and Powell. They tried to pull him over, but Clark led them on a chase, eventually crashed the car, got out, and managed to run away. Officers spent hours looking for him before they finally found him just a few hours ago, hiding in someone's backyard.
We're also following a deadly shooting in North Portland's Kenton neighborhood. It happened just before midnight at North Interstate and Terry. Officers found 2 people shot in a car. The driver was taken to the hospital. The passenger, though, died at the scene. They haven't released any information about the suspect or the victims. We'll keep you updated.
Well, a wave of gun violence in Portland just last weekend left 4 people dead, and this morning we're learning more about one of the victims.
Yeah, police ruled his death a homicide, but haven't released any information about a suspect. Alma McCarty spoke with the victim's family.
Near the corner of Southeast Powell Boulevard and 124th Avenue in Portland, in the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood, the family of Aaron Falstead Martin gathered together Tuesday, taping up his picture and adding more candles and flowers to this memorial, all while trying to process the waves of grief.
And I never thought in my 49 years that I would be right here. This is crazy. There's no way I should have to be here.
Shalonda Falstead Martin is his wife.
I know people get on these cameras and swear up and down, oh, their family member was the best. No, he wasn't perfect, but he was a good person, and he didn't deserve nothing that happened to him.
Portland police say the 44-year-old father was shot and killed last Friday. Family tells us they set up his memorial in the place officers found his body.
Just need these detectives to do their job. Like, really, really do their job, because to me, when our black men is getting killed, they don't care. They do not care.
So far this year in Portland, there have been at least 49 homicides and 670 shootings. This weekend alone, 4 people were killed, including Falstead Martin, in multiple shootings across the city.
People don't realize when you hurt other people, it doesn't just affect that person.
Shalonda wants everyone to remember That as her own family mourns the loss of a brother, a father, a husband.
You never know what might happen to one of your family members. One day you might be up here in the same position. So you should think before you react. People need to think long and hard before they make the choices that they make.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
A Portland police oversight group is recommending that the city of Portland pay for the gunshot detection technology known as ShotSpotter. So it's a system of audio sensors that listens for gunshots and then alerts police. Ultimately, it aims to improve response times to shootings. The oversight group recommends putting ShotSpotter in what are considered high impact areas. But now it's up to Mayor Ted Wiedler and City Council to decide whether or not to move forward with this recommendation. We have more about the recommendation on our website, kgw.com.
Other headlines we're following this morning. The man convicted of murdering a Salem mother and her 3-year-old son in 2019 will be sentenced today. Carissa Fretwell and her son Billy were reported missing in May of that year. Their bodies were found a few weeks later in the woods outside of Yamhill. Michael Wolf, who is the boy's father, was arrested and charged with their murders. It's part of a deal to avoid the death penalty. Wolf pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and second-degree murder. He faces life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. His hearing starts this morning at 9. Police in Polk County releasing this new photo of the car they believe was involved in a deadly road rage shooting from last Wednesday. It's a BMW 3 Series, the body style similar to a 2006. Investigators say the shooter opened fire last Wednesday along Highway 18 between the Coast and McMinnville, just west of Grand Ronde. They say the victim, Dennis Anderson, pulled over to let that BMW pass and call 911. That's when the BMW pulled up next to Anderson, firing multiple shots, killing him. Call Polk County detectives if you recognize that car. A petition aimed, meanwhile, at strengthening Oregon's gun laws now has enough signatures to get on the November ballot. If passed, it would ban large magazines, require a permit to buy a gun, and impose stricter background checks. The group behind it, called Lift Every Voice Oregon, needed just about 112,000 signatures. They got 132,000. And those are some of your morning headlines.
The University of Oregon is involved in a new initiative that aims to place more women in leadership roles within the world of track and field. Right now, women only hold 20% of the leadership roles in NCAA Division I and II athletic programs. Representatives from the U of O and World Athletics met yesterday to figure out ways to change that. It was a forum called Out of the Blocks. And they were joined by former athletes, including Sonia Richards-Ross, who worked her way up the ranks and into the broadcasting booth during NBC's coverage of the 2016 Summer Olympics.
That for me gave me tremendous confidence that I could, use my unique experiences to contribute in another way to my sport.
The ultimate goal is to have women holding at least 40% of track and field's executive or leadership roles by the year 2025.
And Chris, you were saying it's actually like sprinters love this hot weather. Why is that?
It's easy to warm up. I mean, you don't
your
pull a
muscles.
muscle.
Yeah.
Whereas the distance runners, and I always thought this, like anything over 1,500 meters, it's like, heat dissipation becomes one of your key factors.
That means like go down.
Your ability to sweat and cool off.
Yeah.
When you walked over the weather wall here, I was going to turn to you and say, what did he mean by that? What did he mean by that?
Did that help?
It's a good explanation, yes.
Well, especially if you get into the marathon distance, it's brutal. But the sprinters love it. Hurdlers, most field events, event competitors love it. It loosens the muscles up and
keep it up.
Muscles should be very loose by the end of this forecast.
You're tipping us off to the 7-day. We'll get to that in a second. But first off, let's start off cool, calm, and collected this morning with this gorgeous sunrise from our Stoller Vineyard camera in Dayton. Isn't this awesome? We're, about 30 minutes away from sunrise, and that is just spectacular here with the brightening sky over the Cascades this morning. And you'll note an absence of cloud cover again this morning, so that will help serve as our launch pad into the upper 80s and low 90s again today. We're 65 at PDX, it's 64 in Vancouver. Big picture across the state, obviously temperatures this morning even warmer east of the Cascades at this hour. compared to yesterday at this time. So once again, we are setting the stage for what we think will be another pretty toasty day. Not at the Oregon coast, though. The onshore breeze and the cloud cover will probably keep you nice and comfortable again today. Upper 60s in Astoria, Pacific City tops out at 70. We hop out into the Columbia River Gorge. West winds gusty this afternoon. The Dalles, you hit 100 yesterday. 99. So same ballpark today with west winds on the order of about 30 miles an hour. I love this shot. I got to give our former KGW chief photographer, Rod Stevens, retired, now working for ODOT, snapping this picture of the valley here in I-5 with construction cones. Our valley forecast has the low 90s in it for McMinnville and Salem. As we go up into southwest Washington, again, upper 80s and low 90s, pretty common. Vancouver, probably the same as Portland, about 91 degrees. And that's what Futurecast is showing us today. 85 Longview, 93 Salem. We split the difference here in Portland. Another toasty day today. Speaking of toasty, you have no doubt heard about the intense heat that has, well, not only been gripping Europe, but also the central part of the United States. Temperatures 105 to 110 across the southern plains. Heat advisories and warnings in effect for them. As Drew mentioned, we've got a hot forecast as we get into early next week. So I'm going to step out of the way real quick, and you can see that after a fairly comfortable weekend, we go into the upper 90s Monday and possibly some record heat in our Tuesday forecast. Yeah, 102, that would actually break the record of 100 set just 2 years ago.
There we
Little
go.
wiggle room in that forecast. We'll see what changes happen over the next couple days.
Yep. All right, Chris, thank you so much.